Petrie.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. We live in the best country in the world here in Australia, and the things that make it so great are the very things that this coalition government is working to nurture, grow and protect. Fairness, security, opportunity, reward for effort. We heard those words many times in the budget on budget night and have done so since. They are great things to keep top of mind as we work through the budget bills. We have the chance to usher in a comprehensive solution to the legacy of a decade of Labor deficits. The opposition leader must be so pleased to have this opportunity to right the wrongs of his predecessors. Fairness, security, opportunity. They are the great things to remember as we work to repave the future path for coming generations, for the younger people. We have a responsibility to relieve them from the burden those Labor deficits present. Big debts on lots of little shoulders. And a comprehensive solution to debt, the rising cost of living, pressure, hardship, lazy loopholes left over from Labor's regretful reign. That's what the coalition government is committed to and what the budget 2017 is delivering. And it's great to be able to speak here on the Treasury Laws Amendment Bill 2017. The bill in itself offers some important savings, safeguards and provisions. It gives effects to changes to foreign and resident capital gains tax withholding regime. It expands the existing regime for new acquisitions, increasing the withholding rate from 10% to 12.5%, and it reduces the withholding threshold from $2 million down to $750,000, making it applicable to an increased number of foreign residents, which is good. These reforms are necessary in order to assist with the collection of capital gains tax liabilities owed by foreign residents, address low levels of compliance by foreign residents with their Australian tax obligations, and capture more property transactions. If foreign investors wish to acquire Australian residential property, they will need to comply with our stringent capital gains tax rules. In addition to the measures contained in this bill, the housing affordability package outlined as part of the budget contains further reforms to capital gains tax for foreign investors. Foreign or temporary tax residents will no longer have access to the main residence capital gains tax exemption, which is great. So at the moment, most Australians live in their home, they have advantage of that exemption. Foreign residents won't be able to. Importantly, the housing affordability package furthers the goal of ensuring Australian homes are within the reach of Australians. Provisions that bolster affordability include limiting foreign ownership in new developments and charging foreign owners who leave their residential properties vacant. An annual charge will be imposed on foreign owners of residential properties if the property is not occupied or available to rent for at least 6 months in each year, which is a good thing. This discourages foreign investors from buying Australian homes and just letting them sit vacant. The charge provides an incentive for the foreign owner to make their property available on the rental market if they do not intend to live there, increasing homes available to Australians who wish to rent, which is very important, having more supply. This bill will ensure Australians' homes are available for Australians, which will be well supported by the full scope of budget measures that keep the Australian dream alive. From first home buyers to those looking to downsize, Australians in need of support and social housing, the coalition government's commitment to housing affordability is part of our promise to Australians first and foremost. We will work to make housing affordable, we will work to bring down the cost of living, and we will work to protect Australians and the values we hold dear, and that includes ensuring a roof over their heads. The coalition government is making housing more affordable, ensuring Australian homes are available for Australians and supporting the Australian dream. We are backing first home buyers, enabling them to use their superannuation to save for a deposit, with the savings attracting generous tax concessions. And the negative Labor member opposite, the member for Bruce, basically just said, oh, we won't vote for that, that's no good, just discounted the whole thing. This is on top of superannuation. So at the moment, if a young Australian is earning and receiving a wage, a salary, they're receiving 9.5% minimum on top of their wage. And at the moment, if they want to put $30,000 into a savings account, they're going to lose a third of it. They'll end up with $20,000. So this will enable them to put that money into their super scheme on top of their current super contribution and end up with more money in the hand. Probably an extra $5,000, around $25,500 out of the 30. So this makes sense, and the government is giving young people the opportunity to do that, and the Labor Party will vote against it. And I'll be reminding every young person in my electorate that Labor will vote against it. And you know what? If you've got a young couple that do it, the savings are greater, aren't they, if they can both put away a little bit of extra money. But no, those opposite, they just want to ridicule all that. We are providing superannuation incentives for older Australians who are looking to downsize into a home that best suits their lifestyle, because we know as well that baby boomers that want to retire and the kids are moved out of home, the grandkids are grown up, they're in 4 or 5 bedroom homes, and they might want something smaller that's easier to clean, look after, and there are incentives to sell the home, downsize, and once again put money into their super on top of what they're normally allowed to do. A very, very good policy. We are investing in housing to tackle homelessness, social housing, and triaging the accommodation needs of domestic violence victims and our young people. We are increasing the capital gains tax discount to 60% for affordable and social housing investment to stimulate supply. Nothing from those opposite on that. Great policy. We are securing new state agreements to require planning reform and encourage the delivery of additional affordable housing, Mr Deputy Speaker. A National Housing Infrastructure Fund and Commonwealth Land Bank will unlock land and infrastructure barriers. We are protecting, only this side of the House, we are protecting negative gearing for mum and dad investors, securing their future and increasing rental housing stock. And you know, it's not rocket science to know that if an investor cannot negative gear, they are going to positively gear. They're going to positively gear, and that means they need to make a profit, which means that rents will go up. And in areas like in my electorate, that'll be a big impact. And the member for Fenner spoke about this before, how the Keating government, you know, reversed all this. But guess what? They changed their mind because they realised it wasn't working. And with this bill, we are introducing tougher real estate rules for foreign investors to make sure they pay their share of tax and don't leave properties empty. I said at the start, we live in the best country in the world. Australia certainly is the best country. The things that make it so great are the very things that this coalition government is working to nurture, grow and protect. I mentioned fairness, security, opportunity and reward for effort. These are fair and sensible measures that help to ensure all Australians have affordable housing. They contribute to the big picture solution on reducing the cost of living and return savings to the public purse. They help to reduce debt accumulated through a decade of Labor deficits and ensure future generations do not carry the weight of their economic failure, like those young people up there. They acknowledge the important role that foreign investment plays, yet at the same time protect and prioritise the interests of Australia above all, as they should.